Hey, Mike Healy here, and man, am I excited to share this stuff with you. You are absolutely going to crush it on the internet, on all social media platforms. You're going to be a rock star. You are going to lead the pack. You're going to be an absolute stud or studette based on what I'm about to train you on today, and that has to do with content and content creation. Now, I have studied this for quite a few years now. I've studied from some of the best out there, from the marketing experts and gurus. I've applied these things. I'm going to show you real world examples. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to use my PowerPoint 90% of the time here to go through a nice presentation for you. You're going to probably want to save this video. You're going to want to study it. You're going to want to take notes as we go through it. So if you don't have a pen, maybe you want to do that. But I'm telling you, what I'm about to share with you is going to help you become an absolute rock star on the social media. And when I say social media, that means all things internet. Okay, so follow me along here. We're going to jump into it. You're going to be excited about this because it's stuff you can easily apply. You can get immediate results with. You're going to see the strategies I've put together for you, and you're going to be able to apply them right away. So all that being said, I'm going to take my time so I don't rush through this, because it's important that you get the points in the correct order and so on, and I'm going to go through it. So let's kick on over to my PowerPoint. All right, so basically I've kind of labeled this how to crush it on social media, and what I want to cover is I'm going to cover what is content, how to create some content, so content creation, simplifying the process, distributing the stuff that I'm going to show you how to make, and then real importantly, the tools. So we're going to get some tools to show you how to do this, okay? Now, when it comes to content, what you need to understand is when I say content, this is what is going to create your awareness as a human being, as a business owner, as a ministry, whatever it might be that you're trying to do, using all of these different things, okay, such as video, audio, blog posts, websites, PowerPoints, and so on. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you're going to get the gist of what I'm kind of going over, okay, as we go through it. Here's what's real important that I think people miss, is that each piece of content that you take the time to create becomes an employee that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that you never have to babysit or pay, okay? Content creates leverage. What I mean by that is every bit of content you put out there, whether it's posts, blogs, internet, and videos and so on, creates leverage. You can be in multiple places simultaneously. You've never had this opportunity like you have today with the internet age going on. The other thing is content lives forever. They call it being evergreen, meaning that if you create something, I've got people that comment, I would give you an example, on videos that I created in 2008 on my YouTube channel. That's 10 years ago. People are now finding those. Then they're going to newer content, and then they're going through my whole YouTube channel. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Now, understand this is every bit of content I'm going to show you can be easily shared. What we like to call it in marketing is it's splintered. So if you look at the fourth point here, content can and should be splintered. That means that we're going to repurpose the same content. So it's not going to be overwhelming for you. If you watch this, it's going to rock your world here. And content on the same topic actually will drive what they call SEO, or search engine optimization, to different pages on your thing. Okay, so multiple uses for single products. All right, so I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to show you this. Usually, what we call this is a pillar piece. Okay, on the right hand side there, you're going to see that I have a video, and I did a Facebook Live with a friend of mine about a company and an opportunity we're involved in, okay? It ran about 30 minutes long. I took the video then that was on Facebook Live. I was able to download it from Facebook. I can then upload it onto my YouTube channel, which I did. I also downloaded the audio, and you can use it as a SoundCloud or a podcast. I can use it as a CD, obviously we're in MP3s these days, and it can be transcribed into a blog post. I can also take the transcription and create a PDF, which I'm going to show you in a second, And I could also go through from the PDF and create, PowerPoint from some of these things as well. Okay, so if you think about it, all I did was I interviewed a person for 30 minutes on this video. When I interviewed him, I just basically asked him some basic questions that were designated as to what we were going to do with the company, the opportunity, and so on. And then that created what we call the pillar piece, the big, kind of a mothership of all the things that we talked about on there that can now be cut into pieces and spliced and splintered out. Okay, so number one is when you're creating something, we call it the pillar content, is usually 30 minutes or longer. Okay, and the reason for that is because when you have a long piece, so you're going to be like doing one interview or one long training, or as an example, like the one on the far right here, the recruiting training that I did was about 45 minutes long. And inside that 45-minute piece that I did on Facebook Live, that's actually a screenshot from my phone of it being on YouTube. But inside that piece, what I did is I talked about multiple things, multiple topics, and then I was able to splinter off and piece out different things from that. I was able to create a blog post, a Facebook post, an Instagram post, and so on. Okay, so you kind of get the idea here. Now, what happens is once you created your piece of pillar content, meaning you have a topic that you want to cover, maybe it's a training on a specific thing. Mine, a lot of times I do a lot of recruiting training for sales and marketing and direct selling and networking. And so most of the ones that I do are longer in that aspect. So that's my big pillar piece of content that I then distribute in its entirety on YouTube first, then on Facebook, or if I recorded it on vice versa. Usually I just do it on my phone and I record it and then I post it, okay? Then what I do is I pull the audios. It's very easy. You can go and find how to do that. There's plenty of free apps out there. I don't pay for hardly any of the stuff I'm about to show you. I pull the audios and I'll show you I create podcasts, SoundClouds, audio files, tape a call, that kind of thing that you can put. So I've repurposed the pillar piece multiple times already. So I've already splintered my big piece into multiple pieces as is currently, okay? I also then, in a lot of cases, and I'm going to show you all the tools how to simplify this and how you can do it real easy, okay? So just keep following me here, is I will then take the audios and create PDFs, which, I can create the PDFs for giveaways. The transcriptions I can create for blog posts. I can create those for things that I will push out in other platforms, in different websites. That's actually some of the stuff I might put under some of my videos as descriptions and so on. Now, the other thing is usually once I've created something, I then even make a post about it that I would put like on Facebook. Like I took the audio from one of my videos, created my podcast, and then I took and made a post about my podcast of the new thing that I just put out there, okay? So I literally have, 5x'd the piece of content that I created. Now, this leads me into, once you have your pillar content, you can then repurpose kind of best moments into what they call micro content. Okay, so as an example, this video right here was one I was doing on a marketing strategy that I was teaching. And then what I did was I'll take and pull pieces out of it. So I have the full piece on YouTube or Facebook, or usually both. Then I'll go through, and I just use like a Final Cut on my computer, and you can get free video editing software. It's real simple to do these days. And I'll go in and I'll go, oh, that's a pretty good comment. So then I'll pull like a 1 minute section and create a 1 minute video that will now be a post on Facebook. It'll be a post on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and maybe even Snapchat. Okay, so again, I've splintered stuff off my pillar piece, because what you have to understand is that a lot of people get intimidated, thinking they can't make all this stuff. And literally what I do is I focus on one topic. If you took If you did one video of about 20 to 30 minutes per week, and then you did it on like Monday, and you created your big video, your pillar piece, then you can take and you can take it and you made it and you're good to go, and you do it on Facebook or whatever, and now you distribute it like I showed you just a second ago. Then on top of that, on Tuesday you might go through and then now you're going to get the transcriptions done, which I'm going to show you how simple that is and how cheap it is. Then you're going to make on maybe Wednesday you're going to make some posts on Facebook using all that. Then Wednesday and Thursday, you might do Instagram, Twitter, your LinkedIn, and so on, and you've come full circle. So literally, you can have between 10 and 20 pieces of content from your pillar piece that you can distribute to all those places. So you look like you're everywhere, which is why I think I have such good success lately as I'm learning these strategies and getting them out there. So I got more content that more people are seeing, and I'm in front of them more often, okay? And here's like I was just saying, is you got your micro content distribution that you might pick a day where you're going to hit Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you might not, you might have 4 different pieces that you pull from Facebook. So you might put one of those posts out on Monday, one out on Tuesday, one now Thursday and Friday, and you can obviously schedule posts in any of these formats. Typically, I know you can on Facebook and Twitter. You can time them as to when they get displayed, and a lot of these link together. So if you post it on Facebook, it might push to all your other networks and so on. Okay, so you take the big piece and you micro content distribute it. Now, let's kind of wind down a little bit. I'm going to show you some tools that are real simple. Now, one of which is what I like is a thing called BeLive. BeLive has a free version, but then there's an annual membership you can get that it has more bells and whistles. You can brand your stuff. But the reason I like BeLive.tv is this is how you can get on Facebook Live. And I like it because it adds comments inside the video. You can actually put things in there. You can have multiple people on it. You can, if you have the paid version, you can do screen records on it, screen shares. You can have pull up images on it. You can have up to, at one time you can have up to 3 people on the screen speaking. You can also have a talk show where you can have up to 10 people waiting in a holding tank that you click a button and they pop up. So it's a really, really good thing. Okay, now let's talk about the next one, and this one is Spreaker. Spreaker is probably the easiest thing I've ever done to make a podcast. Now, podcasts are becoming more and more relevant, I guess, out there, and more popular for people because people are on the go. They like to be able to pull up a podcast, and Spreaker is really a piece of cake to do. Okay, so as an example, what I would simply do to create what I did with my blog post or one of my pillar pieces is I have, as an example, I did a training on a Bible study thing that I did, okay? And it was about a 35-minute video. So then I took the video, that became those other pieces that I mentioned, but then I extracted or I pulled the audio from that, and with the audio that I pulled, I then use that as my upload as my podcast. Okay, so it's real simple. I just uploaded it. You create an image, you get approved, and boom, I had that. Now, once you're on Spreaker and you've got it set up, Spreaker is what pushes it, and you go in and you can just Google how to create a podcast on Apple or iTunes, and it's real simple. You just literally create your profile and your uploads on Spreaker, and then Spreaker pushes your content to iTunes, and the other distribution networks that you might apply to, okay, that have the podcast abilities. And so I've already uploaded 7 of them. I just did this recently. This is really brand new for me. But it's been kind of cool to see how these are out there. It adds more credibility and influence if you think about it, because people, you can show these, hey, go check out my podcast, go check out this. And again, you look like the authority in the space because you're putting stuff out there that might be, that's relevant to somebody that you're talking to, okay? Now, this one is probably my new favorite because I've paid people tons and tons of money to have transcriptions done of all my audios and stuff. But there's a website out there called Temi, TEMI.com, and it's 10 cents a minute to transcribe an audio. And literally, the transcriptions are almost verbatim. It's literally like a 95%. If it's a fairly clean audio, it's probably close to 95% that they transcribe it in exact detail. What's cool is once it's transcribed, you can go in and you can play your audio from the video. You could actually take screenshots from that. So if you wanted to make a blog post from this, but you can go through, follow it along as you play it, and then it automatically, after it's transcribed, you can just basically edit it within this editor and then download the entire thing and save it, and it becomes your full audio, okay? Your full transcript. As a perfect example is, I had a pillar piece of content that I created on a residual income opportunity, that I had that one of my companies, and the pillar piece was right there. I then took it to Temi, transcribed it, and created a blog post on it that I put on there. Now I then took the blog post and I put it on my Facebook, I put it on Twitter, I put it on my LinkedIn. So again, multiple purposes for the same work, okay? Real simple, and now all of that lives forever. Print, obviously, when you put stuff in text format, that's how you start to get the SEO stuff on there, because Google indexes these keywords and things that might be relevant that you're talking about in those videos, okay? The other thing is I took Temi and I took videos that I had done in 2009. So what is that? It's almost 9 years ago that I did videos on a training. I took, each one was about 5 minutes long on average, transcribed each one, turned each one of those topics that I trained on recruiting, and I turned them into a chapter in a book that I now created. And then I went, and you can get book covers, 3D book covers made for $5 on Fiverr if you want. And I turned that into a book, which is a giveaway that I use, and I target, I use it as my landing page to do it. But again, I cannot write. I can't write. It's not in my wheelhouse. It was easy to make the videos and then just have them transcribed and then go through and just kind of, take out the uhs and the ahs and stuff like that. And literally within a day, within a weekend, I made this book. I even sell it on Amazon. So I sell it on Amazon, I give it away in some of my giveaways and so on. So it's been a really good thing. One of the last things I want to show you is when it comes to creating images. I've probably mentioned this in some of my videos. If you don't know about Canva, you are missing out big time on probably one of the best resources out there for creating very good images. And it's a third grader could make these images. You literally go in and you pick your, if you want it to be a Facebook post, a YouTube thing, a book cover, you can make that in here. And this is the free version. I probably have made over 1,000 images now over the last probably 5 years that I've been using Canva. And you can just make the video, or if you notice that image is what I used on my blog post, and I made it in Canva because it's perfectly sized and so on, okay? So all that being said, I would recommend that you watch this a few times, this video, go back, pause it, take some notes, look at some of the things I was talking about. If you want to learn more, I'm always putting stuff out on my YouTube channel. Go find me on Facebook under Mike Healy. That's where that's my Facebook page. That's got my kind of my business page. And hey, if you get a chance, check out, if you're on the go, pull up the podcast and check it out and listen to me and so on. But thanks again for your time. Really appreciate you watching this. I got it done faster than I thought I was going to, but hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm telling you that if you use these strategies, one thing that you do will give you an idea for the next thing you do, and the next thing, and the next thing. Regardless of what type of business you're in, more than likely it's just a matter of you not getting your message out to enough people quickly in different channels. Because the thing is with content is that what's real important to remember and understand is people learn in different ways. There's some people that just love to read, and that's it. They don't watch videos. They just literally do not watch videos. They want to read. Some people will only read if there's images inside the text, the whole video or the blog post and so on, okay? So doing these multiple channels of distribution of your content and splintering it off and we call it sawdust sometimes, allows you to find people wherever they're at, in whatever capacity they learn the best with, and so on, okay? Just top of my head, if you're, as an example, if you're a ministry, just to throw this out there, I don't know why, but I'm going to throw it out there. If you happen to be a ministry and you're watching this, and you go up in front of the, if you're on stage and you give a talk, you give a sermon, you better have that thing videotaped. Then as soon as it's done being videotaped, you upload it to YouTube, you upload the full thing to Facebook, you upload it to, the next other Vimeo, then you get it transcribed, then you pull pieces out of it, then you do that. And I'm telling you, that will really help you amplify the message of the ministry that you're trying to do and get more people to see it, to engage with it and go, hey, I might want to go to this dude's church, or this guy's church, this pastor's church. Not to call a pastor a dude, but you understand what I'm saying. Same thing operates if you are, you're a stay-at-home mom that's trying to get, that wants to build a following on any of these channels. Make videos of you walking around the house, videotaping yourself in your PJs, with the kids and so on. Make one big long video, get it transcribed. I'm telling you, you'll be able to use multiple pieces on that, and who knows, you might be the next big money earner from all the traffic that comes to your website and so on. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Like it, subscribe to it, comment below. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the other videos.